Somehow, last night I watched 90 minutes of Dancing with the Stars and lived to talk about it.
And all I have to say to Ozzie Guillen is adios.
Hey, welcome once again. It's Culture Clash. I'm Chet Kopic along with
Catherine Saxon.
And we are brought to you by the marvelous people at Athens Motors. Athens Motors. Hey, stop by on Waukegan Road in Morton Grove. You're always going to have a marvelous, marvelous experience when you deal with our great friends at Athens Motors. All right, I got this whole thing figured out now with Dancing with the Stars.
I'm shocked.
It's not
90
about
minutes.
Dancing. It's not about dancing. It's how important is it when the guy hugs the girl after the dance. People latch on to personalities. And the one guy I cannot take on the entire show is the old fool, what's his name, Goodman, the
Yes.
ballroom instructor.
The
who
English
looks like
guy.
he ought to be passing out TV dinners at a nursing home in Berwyn. You know, I mean, he
Okay.
gets on my nerves, but not in a positive way.
He brings his own dynamic to the show, but it's more about the relationships that are developed between the dancers and the, C-list celebrities. And
Do you think that babe is going to do Chaz Bono?
What? No, that's not even, no.
And by the way,
is that even
Chaz Bono, if
possible?
you're out there, those are the ugliest tattoos this side of Dennis Rodman.
When did you have the opportunity to see his tattoos? Because during the show, he's entirely covered up.
He does have massive man breasts, by the way. So does the Kardashian guy. At least he admitted it last night, which I'm thinking to myself, how do you garner the spirit of middle America by admitting that you have man breasts?
Okay, wait a second. So last week I said that the only reason you would watch the show is if there was a wardrobe malfunction. And then this week there was one with Nancy Grace.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if you even noticed that or if you were too focused on her big mouth.
I noticed it.
You
And
noticed it.
I have seen glaciers that are prettier than her right knocker.
Ozzie Guillen.
I've seen car wrecks that are prettier than her right knocker.
Okay, ouch. Chaz Bono's is a little more attractive, would you say?
Sadly, he probably is.
All right, Ozzie, he's out.
All right, the thing about Ozzie Guillen that bothers me is this. Not only did Ozzie Guillen quit on the ball club in September, the ball club quit on Ozzie Guillen. All he's talking about is a $2 million yacht down in Florida. Pay me the money, do this, do that. Ozzie, what do you owe Jerry Reinsdorf? What do you owe the Chicago White Sox? 2005 happened 115 years ago. Ozzie, you're a great guy. I love you. I knew you when you were a rookie with the Chicago White Sox. But you know what? Good riddance. You quit on the ball club. Chicago will get along very well without Ozzie Guillen.
Do you feel better? That was therapeutic, I feel like.
Well, no, I don't feel better, but the next manager who takes over the White Sox has got one problem.
Who's that
He
going to be,
better
by the way?
Damn well, I think it's going to be maybe Davey Martinez, maybe Sandy Alomar Jr. He better damn well be quotable because Ozzie was allowed to get away with a lot of transgressions and a lot of lousy performances with his ball club because he always filled the writers' notebooks. So this new guy who takes over, whoever it is, he better darn well be quotable because if the ball club is playing poorly and he's not quotable, he's going to be on the hot seat immediately.
I think something that's interesting is that he's the only coach in either of our generations to take us to a world championship, and the vast majority of White Sox fans are really pleased to see him leave.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you got to remember something. The last time the White Sox won a World Series, I think Calvin Coolidge was our president. Or Warren G. Harding.
I mean, I'm just making a comparison for Culture Clash. It's only coach in either one of our generation, and it's a little sad for him at least that vast majority of fans are like.
With your generation, for heaven's sakes, Led Zeppelin is irrelevant.
Okay, and you're tuning into Chaz Bono, so.
Only because he has the ugliest tattoos I have ever seen in my life.
That's it.
Cher must be
for
just
the
sick.
wardrobe malfunctions, and you're getting all sentimental with the relationships that are being built on these shows now.
Well, because I think dancing on the show is the least important element. It's the humanism.
That's true.
I mean, the way they sell it, they build up the drama. They show you last week. They show you the rehearsals. They show you how
People
much
are
pain
losing
they're
weight.
going
They're
through.
going through this, this life transition, and it's a therapeutic. And I can't agree with you anymore.
By the way, I've lost 15 pounds.
Just by sitting here
My
during this
butt no longer
conversation.
requires a zip code.
Ah. Okay. On that note,
Was
let's
that
talk
really
about manslaughter.
necessary? Was that really necessary?
I mean, the manslaughter or the.
I mean, do you have to bust me in half?
Okay. You do it to yourself.
Don't you think living with this butt is hell on earth to begin with?
I feel unfortunate for the people that have to constantly hear about it. That's all. So I'm just trying to tune it out for the few people that tune in. Herman Cain won the straw poll last week in Florida. Were you shocked by that?
I was really taken aback, and I don't think Herman Cain's victory is as important to Herman Cain as the setback is for Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney has now been running for president for 5.5 years. In my opinion, Florida, the straw poll, Mitt Romney is now DOA. If Romney approached me if I was a wealthy man for big money, I would say, you know what, Mitt, with all due respect, go back to Utah and play golf.
Okay. Well, a straw poll is nothing more to me than a telephone survey. I mean, what was the question? How many people did they poll? I mean,
about 3,500, right?
I really don't know. I mean, is that true?
Yeah.
3,500?
I'm in the ballpark.
Okay. All right, then I'll take that. But it was he was one of the only candidates who stayed after the debate to talk to some people afterwards. So I'm wondering, okay, what was the question? To me, it's a telephone survey, so I don't really take the straw poll too seriously. But I'm not thinking that Herman Cain is a front runner here by any means.
No, not at this time. But I will say this much: given the fact that the Republicans don't have a flat-out candidate right now, because Perry is already losing momentum, we may actually have. You heard it here first. We may actually have a brokered convention. That could transpire.
Chris Christie has said probably 6 times that he's not running for president, and the Republican Party keeps calling and asking him to run because they feel like they don't have a legitimate candidate.
Well, if he runs, he wins. He'll win
Chris
by
Christie?
knockout. Chris Christie will win by knockout.
He needs to get his weight under control. I feel like he needs to get his life in order a little
Well,
bit. He just had some health issues. Yeah, go on Dancing with the Stars, then run for president. Okay, Kobe Bryant. So there's going to be an NBA lockout, most likely.
Oh, well, the lockout's already in progress.
Okay, so he was offered $6.7 million to play in Italy. I'm thinking definitely take that. He's able to go and play in Italy and then come back to the States once the lockout is done with. Why wouldn't you take that?
Well, you would take it because Kobe Bryant spent part of his youth as the son of Joe Jellybean Bryant living in Italy.
Right, I didn't know that. And he speaks Italian.
He knows the language. He knows the culture, the whole 9 yards. Could keep himself in shape. Although, at this point in time, Kobe Bryant's entering, I believe, his 14th or 15th year of NBA basketball.
Impressive.
So, given all the dough he's already made, why would Kobe Bryant want to put additional trauma on his knees and ankles? Why wouldn't he be happier with a shortened, with a truncated basketball season?
I mean, they're going to pay him over $739,100 for every home game. That's before pre-tax.
By the way, Jay Cutler, you suck.
We'll get to that in a minute. This is like a paid vacation. I mean, I'm wondering, do they have any cheerleading gigs over there that I could, consider going back into? Because if you paid me $5,000 a game over there, I mean, I get to hang out in Italy. This is a win-win situation. You get
Blonde hottie seeking cheerleading job in Italy. Salary open.
Pack me in your suitcase.
No screamer.
I mean, really though, and you get to avoid the lockout, and okay, it's over, and you get to come back and play in the States. I mean, I feel like win-win situation.
I could not agree more. What's next on All-Star?
All right. Well, do you want to bring up Jay Cutler? Obviously, you seem to be a little upset about that, or.
Well, I'm not really upset about Jay Cutler. I'm upset about the fans who are criticizing Mike Martz right now about the Bears not having a running game. The guy they should be criticizing is Jerry Angelo, who put this football team together. The fact is the Bears don't have an offensive line good enough to run the football right now.
All right.
And Matt Forte's dreams of getting, $18-20 million bucks in guaranteed money, that's going to happen when I'm named, Man of the Year by the Brownies.
All right, well, we keep talking about how the offensive line sucks. What do we do about it? How can we fix it? I mean, give me a solution, Mr.
It's a very good question.
Thank you. Stay tuned.
Go on to our next topic, because I have no freaking clue.
All right, a club in England has drawn outrage after profiting from an event in which children as young as 8 years old are doing relatively comparable to cage fighting. Mm-hmm. This is on YouTube, and they're not actually hitting each other or kicking, but it's definitely rated R version of wrestling. So I'm wondering, is this okay for?
It's barbaric.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of a guy named Jake LaMotta?
No.
Well, he's famous for having fought Sugar Ray Robinson 5 times.
Okay.
And if you talk to Jake right now, or if you talk to Jake 30 years ago, Jake spoke in a language that was somewhere between being an Aborigine and being of Polish extraction. In other words, Jake's attempts to speak in English were hindered by something known as brain damage. How a parent could let an 8-year-old kid hop in a cage and take a beating is beyond me. Then again, you know, that's listen, those slobs over there still think that the monarchy and the royal family actually matters. So in a roundabout way, maybe I'm not surprised.
Well, I mean, they said that, you know, eye gouging and groin attacks are subject for disqualification, and that's in no way allowed this version of cage fighting. And I'm worried about, you know, pee-wee football. So I having kids do this at such a young age, I feel like it's not setting a good example.
And we are going to sign off this edition of Culture Class by telling you we would seek immediately, if elected, a ban on pee-wee football. I'm Chet Kopic, along with
Catherine Saxon.
And we thank our good friends over at Athens Motors on Waukegan Road in Morton Grove. And we promise Athens, just as we promise you, we'll try to do better next time around. Have a good one. So long, everybody.